Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles, where you learn how to be the magician of your life. My name is Anna, and I created Magic and Miracles with one purpose only: to help people around the world really understand how to manifest, how to really examine all the things that you need to examine in order to make friends with yourself once and for all. Very important part of my coaching, and how to make manifestation effortless, just effortlessly. So you will manifest anything once you understand who you are, what it is you're made of, the things that right now are not really allowing you to reach that height, that level of consciousness from which you will be able to manifest anything, SP included, of course, obviously, and of course. So in order to be in my coaching, you need to book a 1-hour session first. This is to make sure this is a good situation, a good match for both of us. I want you to resonate with me. Please check out my content. I'm very direct. I don't sugarcoat. I assume that you're coming to me all the while having done all the work that you have so far. You do need my directness, I find. This, character attribute that I have works very well in this situation because I snap you out of your cycle, one that you're going through right now. Now, I'm never rude to my clients, of course. I just am very direct. I'm ruthlessly honest. I am very gentle in my coaching and very patient. But I feel it is my duty and obligation to tell you the truth, which is what you're paying me for, parenthesis here. If I'm going to be like one of those coaches who just copy and paste their methods towards every single client and just kind of like, again, copy and paste their sayings and whatever it is that they're telling their clients, I'm not that coach. You really are going to get your money's worth in the situation, because this is going to be the last coaching that you'll ever need, provided you'll show up, you'll do the work, and you're humble and open and honest about situations, open towards my direction. This is very necessary. In 2 to 3 months, if you do this, on average, I'm able to achieve a quantum leap. Okay. Again, I don't care, respectfully, I don't really take into consideration the work that you've done. It. That's wonderful. The thing is, though, you do need to do things in the way that I suggest if you want to succeed in a shorter period of time rather than longer. And that's what I assume that you're coming to me for. If you have any questions as far as that goes, okay, please remember also, side note here, to sign the coaching agreement by hand. Sign it, date it, and print your name by hand, scan it, and send it back to me. That's the only way that I will accept it, okay? And if you have any questions that I have not, kind of addressed here, then do not hesitate to email me and I will be happy to reply. So thank you so much to everybody who attended my live yesterday. I was so inspired, and I'm just as inspired right now, which is why I grabbed my phone. I just got done walking my dog and I literally coming in and just it started, the thought process has begun, the channeling has begun, and I was like, I gotta stop everything, I gotta grab my phone, and I gotta start recording. So for those of you, new, subscribe. This is how I channel best, okay? That you see my face once a week, guaranteed, on Saturdays, with the exception of this one coming up, because I have a seminar that's guaranteed, but mostly on this channel, that's how we do things, and that's kind of like the uniqueness of it all. So I had a couple more thoughts, and this is probably gonna be these episodes of additional thoughts, I'm gonna call them. So when we were talking about that your SP is always ready to go, what comes to mind, like I just started thinking about it on my walk with my dog. When I was small, and I keep referring, not small, but, a young child, I should say, 11, 12, I really started to taste this power, with scripting and with creating worlds and basically using imagination as the most powerful tool there is, right? I mean, I would say emotions are ever more so powerful because of just emotion is energy in motion. But I think imagination, to evoke that emotion, that's kind of how this story begins. experience. And for me, I remember this awe when I would create certain circumstances, certain situations completely in a childlike manner, as one would when they are 11 or 12, and just see some of that reality seep into things, into my reality, seep into people, circumstances, and events that I was living out. And I was, back then, I don't know why, but it didn't trip me out, to be honest, because by then, I've not to brag, but I'm sure a lot of people can relate, and I coach a lot of people who can relate, have coached as far, I had mystical experiences up until that point that far surpassed anything coming true. So to me, at the same time, don't forget, like a lot of people, I grew up religious, not really religious, but, going to church and doing all these things. I grew up half Jewish, half Christian. So, but normally we would go to church, because my mother is Jewish, but my father is not. So we would go to church. But this energy, essentially this exchange of kind of like I'm wishing for things and things are coming true, was like a normal situation by then. But more so when I started scripting, I started noticing how specifically what I wish for comes true verbatim. Okay, that was another level of like power, but you know what I mean? It wasn't astonishing. It was just like, oh, now I'm mastering this. Now I'm really kind of creating things. And what came to mind when I was thinking about this is this: do not lose this childlike wonder. I have posted in the recent days about that. Do not lose that sense of wonder when you were a child, that you had when you were a child, because this is where you are most powerful. If you can suspend your fucking disbelief to such a degree, okay? Now, parenthesis here, just like I said in live, this does not apply if you're not benevolent. This does not apply if you're hurting somebody. This does not apply at all if you're breaking the law. Other than that, if you're just doing it out of benevolent inclinations, okay, let's just make sure here, then anything goes in that sense. So if you're able to suspend your disbelief to such a degree to allow yourself to entertain this idea, my darling, you can have the world. You just can. I've turned around such situations in my world that were completely like, to another person, that would be catastrophic. They would be completely like, this is the dead end, Anna, you must give in, or something like that. You know what I mean? And to me, the mastery that I have developed for myself, this is why I talked about the dark side also. It's very much a part of your mastery, a mastery of mastering your emotions, mastering your energy. And if you are constantly aware that in addition to suspending your disbelief and being a good storyteller, you are in charge of every single day chiseling out even more so of this genius way of upgrading every single day through mastering even a higher level of managing your emotions, managing your energy in such a way where it is even more so focused on the goals only and not the other mumbo jumbo distraction bullshit, because there is going to be that. I think it would be extraordinarily boring if nothing ever went, let's just say, if nothing ever was a distraction, and if nothing ever was seemingly in opposition to your story. It's entertainment only. Just understand, 3D, whatever bothers you, it's entertainment only, in the sense that, and I know some of you may be having very, heavy duty situations at the moment, and I sympathize. Nevertheless, remember this. If I can just make this point across, it's just a story. And you can write a new one. That you've written the story thus far, the way that it's going right now, this is undeniable, And, we're all on our journeys, and that's perfectly fine. There is never such a thing as judgment in that sense. You're just a story fucking teller. So what? Tell another fucking story. The story that you've written thus far, continue writing. For whatever reason, you're inspired with the energy from which you operate, which is what I help people in my coaching depart from this, automatic pilot of giving the same kind of reactions towards the same kind of things. This needs to cease. Like, you want to change completely your energy, your outlook, how you view things. They're never going to change unless you change how you view things, and you change how you react to them, and change, the kind of actions you take or don't take. This is control. This is mastery. Not control like I'm controlling my manifestation, but you're in charge. You're really in command. If you're going to let it, situations, even if as dire as they may seem right now, as heavy duty as they may seem right now, if you let them dictate the course of your emotions, you're going to be stuck on that fucking parallel timeline forever. It's just the name of the game. I didn't write the rules. I'm just here to report it. So then the mastery then becomes, how do I take myself out of this, ignoring whatever I'm dealing with right now? Completely ignoring it. Childlike imagination will take me to another reality that I'm going to allow myself to tap into it. I'm going to allow myself to fantasize, to dream, to wonder, to be inspired by another world altogether, in which everything is in my favor. And more. And more. Always ask for more. More than you think you want right now, because you're gonna want more. I mean, on that level, when you're elevating, it's always more. It's like, if you're a renter today, you're not going to be making the same decisions as you are now when you're a homeowner. Just saying, it's a whole different perspective. When your confidence elevates to such a degree of, I'm completely fucking unbothered by what I'm seeing now. Yeah, internally, obviously, I'm unbothered, but on the surface, I may have emotions, this and that. This is part of the theater. This is part of the role that I play as a human. But if I'm allowing myself to tap into this world, it will not make any sense. It does not have to make any sense. All that I know is that I've made the connection emotionally, and now I'm more emotionally invested in what I actually choose to be invested in versus what's being pushed into me. Let's just even say it like that, right? Versus something that is so loud in my face right now, so pronounced, and so, like, one would say, again, Anna, give up or something. I've heard this many a time in my life. And thank God that I had this, I don't know where I have it from. I have this fucking stubborn tenacity that no man or woman in the fucking, on planet Earth can, challenge. It doesn't exist. I just know what I want and I'm going after it. If you have that tenacity, if you have that, like I say sometimes on my channel, be like a stubborn motherfucking donkey. Like, totally ignore, and focus on the feeling. Focus on that frequency. Some magical shit's gonna happen, and your creation is going to talk back to you. Okay, now you've told the story, and now the story is fucking here. How fucking exciting is that, guys? Like, seriously, when I see this, like, I don't know, I feel electrified when I see my creation talking back to me. But see, it's not going to talk back to you on the frequency of doom and gloom. It doesn't exist. That telephone line does not go there. Kind of situation. You gotta fish yourself out of there somehow, some way. So, not for nothing, but for a comical relief real quick, this is why I started Anna's List. If you're not familiar, it's on my website. I just list all my favorite things that definitely take me out of a funk if I'm ever in one. If you want to be on that list with your product, you can send me some. If I truly decide that it's worth people's attention, then and only then do you need to pay me. I will never advertise something I don't like. I just can't do it. I'm too honest of a person. And so the creation starts talking back. It starts with, you guys all know it. Show me a sign, universe. Here's a feather. Here's a rainbow. Here's whatever. Here's the name of that person. This is the beginning of the dialogue. If you're finding yourself that you're not moving past this, okay, then you're not building on that energy. This is what I really wanted to say. You get your confirmation. That's a beginning. Get excited about it like a child would, and know, like, the universe just said to you, hey, heard you loud and motherfucking clear. Don't worry about it. It's a done deal. No matter what you see from here on is theater only. Now build on this fucking world. You just made a connection with this world. Build on it. Don't be like, distracted by the... Listen, I understand. I sympathize, been there, and sometimes, truth be told, whatever. We're all human. Sometimes it's a momentary reaction, but I'm just minimize the time you're there is all. 95% of your day, of your time, this is your goalpost. If you're not there, don't feel bad. 95% of the time, you really should be in euphoria. You really should enjoy your life. So place these things, like incense, candles, whatever it is that will pull you out of there immediately. If you find yourself starting to go back, do not go back. The idea is to build. Okay? The idea essentially is to day in and day out visit this world, so much so that at some point it will start sipping in to such a degree where glimpses of it are there. You'll see somebody who looks like your SP, or you'll get an email, okay? Like, I don't know about you, but sometimes I think about somebody and an old email will show up as a new email in my mailbox, okay? Or somebody will start talking to me about them. So this is reality just sipping in. The idea is to be in that reality 95% of the time. Okay, if you can handle that. If you can't, like I said, it's a goalpost. Don't worry about it. But you're so in tune with that reality. You're so in the process of having this dialogue, feeding it more ideas, feeding it more precision, and chiseling it out and making it more perfect, down to the precision and then the details and all of that. Because the more you do that, the closer you become. Not by asking why it's not here. You're already fucking there, man. You're there. You're there because you're the artist who's too busy fucking creating, not asking why it's not here. Just want to make this distinction, and I think it's really important, and it kind of like blows in the face of everything that you might hear out there, because it's just a process of you're cooking a soup, you're making a cake, you're painting, a masterpiece, etc., etc. You're in the process of doing it. You should really, really create with joy, because joy, the aftermath of that joy will be a powerful creation. If you're not feeding it joy, I think you really ought to thank the universe that something hasn't manifested thus far, because you wouldn't fucking like it, okay? And so whatever takes you there into that world, for myself, for instance, if I connect, it's a world to me. If I connect with my precisions, with my specificity, I know what it feels like. I know, what it smells like. I know it intimately throughout chiseling it out. And there'll be days like, for instance, I will assign a scent to this world. And I will only burn that incense that will remind me. If I want to turbocharge my creation, I will only burn that incense to remind me of my creation. There are other things that I teach in coaching, but it's coaching material. And so I'm not going to discuss it here. But it's a routine, for instance, okay? A lot of very genius people, genius creators, filmmakers, like for instance, David Lynch, who passed away recently, unfortunately, always ate the same thing for lunch, the same thing for like 30 years or something like that. I find a lot of people have it. I also have my routine. I have a special wardrobe, unless you haven't noticed by now, for channeling, for creating videos, because now, mind you, because they're all custom made, I have like, I don't know, maybe 10 of the same style So it's kind of like Madonna's costume backups, you know what I mean? But there's I found that certain designs of dresses, like they're more, I feel more comfortable. I feel more in tune. There's not a lot of distraction. It's usually just black, unless you haven't noticed, like I said. That's what a simple, the most simple dresses is what I wear when I'm working, with this type of work, because all the attention is what I have to say, what I have to channel. There's no distraction in that sense. So this is my kind of routine, as a, for instance, with wardrobe. I mean, certainly foods I eat, that if I become that level of consciousness that I'm working on right now, okay, what does that person eat for lunch? And I will eat only that. Or how does this person eat for, eat, or how do they smell, how do they walk, what other choices are they making. So it makes me closer to that world, if that makes any sense, because I'm dedicated to mimicking that world. I know it kind of like, the way I said it, maybe it's a little bit confusing because I incorporated my own routine into it. But whatever helps you essentially to tap into that reality on purpose, with certain things that you use in 3D to shoehorn yourself into that feeling. That's the process of being consistent. And I feel like, like morning routines and things like that, and meditation in the morning, to tune into this reality and be more than accustomed to being in that reality than any other reality. That's what brings it forward even faster. So again, when you're taking the time like this to recalibrate your energy, with which you are currently transmitting, with which you are currently creating, it doesn't become a question of where the fuck is it? It becomes the question of where the fuck am I emotionally? If I'm satisfied, I'm so enjoying this creation in my mind and in my heart that I'm one with it, I don't have any fucking questions. There is this trust, there is this fundamental trust, like I described, like a sign being found, maybe it's a feather, maybe it's whatever, maybe it's a rainbow. It's a sign of confirmation, this eternal connection that you have with the universe. And your feelings and the way that you feel is this connection also. So if you're one with it, you're living out that reality already. Energetically, it's only a very short amount of time before the aftermath, the actually not so exciting part, personally speaking, because you've already lived it energetically and you know it so closely that when the actual artifacts come around and it's all playing out in 3D, it's like, well, it's just like I thought it would be. So it's no surprise kind of deal. You know what I mean? I know the ticket to the movie to which I bought. So kind of expected, I expected this. So you see how really I want to direct your attention to really making it important for you to enjoy the actual process rather than saving your satisfaction for the so-called result. Because results, they never end. It's not just like you're going to achieve this manifestation and then you're going to be satisfied for the rest of your life. You're going to continue molding this person. You're going to continue molding your life. You're going to continue molding yourself. It never stops. But I think to really hone in on this connection, how it personally, for you, how are you able to connect with this divine power? And again, I gave you examples. Geniuses eat the same foods, wear the same clothes, in my case. Not that I called myself a genius, just saying, in my case, that's what I do. That's what helps me to connect, the incense, the whatever, that really energetically allows your human mind to be shoehorned into, I'm already there. I know nothing on the outside is showing this right now, but I'm already there in my mind. So who gives a fuck? It's going to be already the wisdom of experience and, the intuition in the beginning of, when I started to manifest consciously would tell me I'm already there energetically. So I'm not even worried, is not even in my vocabulary. I'm not there's nothing to do. I'm there. So what am I doing? I'm just enjoying. I'm so in awe of my creation. I so know it intimately. I'm there now. And so it becomes so easy to benevolently benevolently manipulate other people's brains. Because if you find yourself on that frequency, first of all, a lot more is available to you. You know this, right? On a higher frequency, you're far more powerful. I mean, that's where you belong, is why. It's easy to insert thoughts into other people's minds. First of all, provided you, again, can stress this enough. For me, this is total truth and totally something that people sometimes overlook. You really want to be able to resonate with this person's energy. If you're really underneath it all, you're not resonating with this person's behavior, the quality of choices that they're making, etc., etc. There's just underneath it all complete dissonance. There is no resonance with this energy, and intuitively, and your higher self is nudging you to do so, is to disconnect from this person. This is why you may not be succeeding right now. May not be your situation, but maybe something to that effect. So if there's resonance, in other words, what is resonance? I'm able to get past somebody's fuck ups, okay, whatever they might be. Now, it depends on the situation, at least I hope you know. If you're new, then know that I really, really don't salute violence. I think any abuse, any violence, anything like that, this is the end of story. It should be the end of story, okay? You should figure out why you manifested this. And that should be the task at hand, not try to bring that person back. But if you're able to connect energetically and get past and forgive and blah, 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 and there's no more resistance, there's no more second guessing because you found something you like about them, or the version that you were able to create instead is starting to sip into your reality because you were able to part with the resentment and etc. Again, listen, there's no judgment. If you're not able to, there's forgiveness and then there's condoning something, right? So you don't owe anybody anything. If you're feeling like, you know what, I really would rather not. Sometimes that has happened in my coaching where the person went, I really thought that I really wanted them back, but I really cannot see myself with a person who did X, Y, and Z. And to that I say, that's being human and really understanding of yourself and not swimming against the current, not trying to force yourself for some other reason other than the pure desire. If there is pure desire, the creation is instantaneous. You can do this. I'm experimenting right now just for the sake of reporting back because, just to make sure it still works, the law of attraction or whatever the fuck it's called, the law of assumption, I don't care. The law of moi, I like to call it, the law of me. If I decide that I want somebody to be madly in love with me, if I decide that I want somebody to really take interest in me, to start saying this and that and the other, to make advances, to give me flowers, blah, 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 blah. They will do it and they will carry out my instructions. Why? Because the entirety of time, I'm orchestrating it with my emotions. I am the puppeteer of that person with my emotions in the most benevolent sense. I want to really stress this. But you're already doing this, right? You're just doing it against yourself. Now do it for yourself. See how much easier it is to do it in your favor rather than against you. When you're swimming against the current, it's really fucking hard, darling. It's really fucking hard. Meaning when you're battling your insecurities, your fears, this and that, this is not the normal state of being. You need to part with a lot of basically garbage in the middle of your living room is my old metaphor. You really need to clear out that garbage so you could really breathe some fresh air, have the relief of from the past, essentially, from all of these emotions. There may be a pollution, an interruption, a distraction again going on. Like when you hear the static on the telephone line, when the Wi-Fi has bad connection, it's like that. Right now, the reality that you're trying to connect to, sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't, because there's something that's still interrupting. There's something that is so heavy duty right now that needs to be processed and let go of. And then it will not show up anymore. It will not show up in your romantic relationships. Take it from me, take it from my experience. It really isn't the other person's situation to become somebody else. They will become some on their own. I mean, if you're not changing, the other person is not going to change. You are the one who has to decide, let's just say, to forgive, to let go, to start thinking of them differently. They're never going to decide to do it for themselves. It doesn't work like that. I either will decide to engage in this energy in all honesty, meaning not just the ego part of you is coming along on this journey, but really the higher self is coming along, which is the most important part. And the higher self will not let you lie to yourself. So again, there must be 100% of honesty. So if you do decide to come along on this journey, and this is a pure decision with benevolence at heart, etc., and nothing is really there to contradict it, energetically speaking. See, these are all the things that you work on in coaching, kind of deal, to be able to be that partner that you want in the other person yourself. Because who else is going to animate this person other than you? Your consciousness. So your consciousness needs an upgrade right now if you want to be this successful, brilliant puppeteer in the most benevolent sense. Because you'll see your emotion reflected in that person. You'll see them being lustful after you when you're, thinking in those terms about them. You see them being affectionate towards you when you're thinking in those terms about them and feeling this way. And obviously feeling like you deserve it, etc. It's all just a mirror, your SP. It's so much fun. But guys, it's so much fun. And obviously, and of course, all of this, goes without saying that you need to play the God that you were born to be. If you're constantly looking to the other person to change before you change your mind about who you are, it's never going to end your misery. You need to, at some point, grow a pair and declare that you're the God of your reality. Whenever you want to create. Sometimes you don't want to create. Sometimes you just want to rest on your laurels and enjoy your fucking creation. Fine, whatever. But when you are ready to create, understand that if I am totally ready to create, I need to really just kind of like zoom in and focus and understand that it is my decision, nobody else's decision. So if I am deciding, I need to decide. I can't let somebody else start deciding. It's my fucking decision. It's on my desk of decisions. So if I'm deciding that this guy or girl is suddenly, for no other reason other than I decided that they're madly in love with me, that they cannot stop thinking about me all of a sudden, you don't need to devise how or why. It makes no sense. Afterwards, they will tell you, I saw something, it reminded me of you, or I saw an old message, or just like me, I saw an old email pop up, pa. All of a sudden, you start deciding that they're madly in love with you, cannot stop thinking of you. All the while, you're feeding that emotion in your consciousness, in your mind, with your feeling, and you contribute to the growth of this energy. And now your creation is talking back to you and you're seeing evidence of your creation. Just keep going. You've made the connection. Now continue the dialogue to such a, until such time that it's all fleshed out. It's all here. And that's the most fun you'll ever have in life, is to see your reality flesh out. Which is why, again, it should be a really joyful process, not a chore. But that you're doing it the entire time, there's absolutely no question. It's just, what clarity do you have about what it is you're doing, and where you are in your consciousness, where you are emotionally right now. It will be inevitable that there is, the equation is such that whatever your state is, whatever your emotions are, equals the reality that you're experiencing right now with this SP or whatever the situation that you're working on. That's it. But then how much easier it is to understand what to do, right? The world can go fuck itself and you can reinvent yourself a million times over. As a person, I've done this over and over and over again, constantly, thirsty for upgrades. And, with upgrades, there come challenges, there come things that you need to process maybe, but in an educated manner. This is now coming up for me to grow from this, or you know what I mean? So as to level up some more. So if you want to have fun with this, I think the key word is fun. Okay, it's not this arduous process, which a lot of you, not for nothing, are under the impression that it is. It's not. That you think it is, problem number one. If you have fun with this topic of a relationship, just like you're having fun, I don't know, doing something in your life right now, like a hobby or whatever, or just having a conversation with a dear friend, this is the mindset that I want you to have. There's not really nothing serious. If anything, this should be treated as a game completely. Are you kidding me? Relationships, total game. Again, in the most benevolent sense, it's just a projection of the people that surround you are the projection of the makeup of your emotions. People will change in your favor completely if you change. If there's something that you need to tweak, you need to decide, you need to rearrange, it's like an echo. It will be so self-evident to you that you will be like, holy shit, bananas. Now I know exactly what Anna is talking about. Now I know exactly how to create. So it all goes back to you. Because if you decide that someone is right now, tonight, madly in love with you, or it is evening in New York, but wherever you are in the world, if you decide right now, confirmation, like people say, the honking, if you decide, that was so funny, if you decide tonight, or wherever you are in the world, that this person madly is in love with you, has always already been in love with you. You don't even understand because you were in the funk or whatever and you were thinking other things, but they were madly in love with you the entirety of time. And just the ability to accept that, and the ability to accept that reality where they're absolutely bananas over you, even more bananas than you are over them, and that you have them wrapped around your finger. Interpretation and perception change. Even if we're not talking metaphysics or manifestation, a whole bunch. It really changes quite a bit. And then the funny thing about that is that when you change your perception, the past, it realigns. But did it really realign, or did I just jump timelines kind of deal? So you see, when you literally, it's just like when Dyer said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And when you change your perception about this person, the past will realign itself to, make sense. The continuity has to be there, right? Those are one of the rules of the universe, I suppose. Although some may disagree, I don't know. Some time travelers, I suppose. It has to make sense in your human mind, is what I mean. If you do this, you will be astonished what happens. If in the purity of your heart, you can decide this person is in love with you, they're gaga for you, they want to apologize, they have made up their mind to marry you, whatever the fuck you're dealing with right now, it doesn't matter. It's your decision stands like solid gold or whatever. It's just unfuckable with. Your decision is there. It's in stone. It's the size of Mount Everest in weight. There's nobody to oppose it. You're the only God who can fuck with God, and you're the God of your reality. It will be carried out. You will experience that reality as long as you don't ditch it tomorrow and start saying something else. Nobody likes a disloyal partner. Be a loyal partner to this partner. If you decide that they're madly in love with you, that's it. You're stuck in that reality. Congratulations. And you're going to get what you want. Just marry that reality. and watch it become, watch it come to you here and actually marry you. I'm so serious. I'm not even joking. Thank you very much for listening. All the information from me again is below. Until next time, ciao, ciao.